South Korea and Uzbekistan are set to strengthen cooperation on high-speed train infrastructure and core minerals, among other things, as the leaders of the two countries meet over in Tashkent. The nation's largest doctors group is to hold a one-day walkout next week, and some doctors in charge of essential medical services say they won't take part, while hospital workers are voicing their opposition. The latest Green Book indicates some positive economic signs at home, showing inflation cooling and domestic demand growing. It's June 14, 2024. This is Newscenter. Good evening. Thank you for joining us. I'm Yoon Jung-min. President Yoon Suk-yeol on Friday held a bilateral summit with his Uzbek counterpart, Shavkat Mirziyoyev, during his state visit to the Central Asian country, the third and final stop of his week-long tour of the region. The highlight of the leaders' meeting was the signing of multiple agreements aimed at deepening cooperation across various sectors. The leaders jointly announced the outcomes of their summit about half an hour ago, and we have our correspondent Woo Soo-young in the Uzbek capital to fill us in on the main points. Hi, Soo-young, it's great to have you with us. Let's begin with the major outcomes of that summit.
Hi, Jung-min. Yes, indeed, as you said, the leaders oversaw the signing of multiple agreements, 15 in that, after their bilateral summit, beginning with some hefty deals inked in the infrastructure and energy sectors. First, Seoul and Tashkent will bolster support for Korean firms as they work on orders for national projects in Uzbekistan, including Korea's export of high-speed rail vehicles. Hyundai Rotem signed a deal with Uzbekistan's rail authority to supply 6 high-speed rail sets to the Central Asian country in a contract worth 270 billion won, or $195 million to supply a total of 42 cars for high-speed trains at a speed of 250 kilometers per hour, along with repair and maintenance services. Upon the 20th anniversary of Korea's high-speed rail line KTX, it's going to mark the first time that the country supplies its technology overseas. Korea will also work with Uzbek authorities to modernize the Central Asian country's heating system by sharing the South Korean model, and this would pave the way for the entry of Korean construction and plumbing businesses. Another major outcome is South Korea and Uzbekistan solidifying their partnership on rare earth minerals, including tungsten and molybdenum, which are vital minerals for industries such as semiconductors and batteries, which are, of course, South Korea's its foremost tech industries. The two sides will establish a comprehensive cooperation system from the stages of exploration to the development, refining, smelting, and utilization of minerals as well. So Korean firms will also have the opportunity to participate in the development and production of minerals once their economic viability is confirmed ahead of other competitors. The two sides will also expand facilities for high-purity rare metal products and create a new database system to jointly strengthen the supply chain of critical minerals.
President Yoon also emphasized the need to reinforce the two countries' special strategic partnership.
That's right. So the aim here is to expand the fields of cooperation and facilitate stronger mutually beneficial partnerships, according to President Yoon. To further help Korean firms make inroads into Uzbek industries, Seoul will back Uzbekistan's bid to join the World Trade Organization, as that would, of course, stabilize business prospects in the country for Korean firms. The two sides also agreed to expand financing options for Korean companies looking to export automobiles, auto parts, machinery and equipment, among other things, and to diversify the fields of economic cooperation even further. Korea will ramp up its concessional financing to Uzbekistan, doubling the amount from $1 billion to from the 2021 to 2023 period to $2 billion beginning this year. Such funds would contribute to future-oriented projects such as building a pharmaceutical cluster in Uzbekistan, for instance, to increase its drug self-sufficiency. With Uzbekistan's young and dynamic population, Korea will also help nurture a skilled workforce through technological training, through some of its vocational centers already there. In fact, it's already trained some 11,700 people over the past 11 years through development assistant projects in 5 regions across Uzbekistan. Now, the two countries will also look to boost military cooperation to go beyond education and training to cover cybersecurity and defense technology. So we now come upon the 5-year milestone of the two countries' special strategic partnership. So the two countries are going to take their cooperation even further to the regional level, with South Korea having launched its K-Silk Road initiative last week. This aims to bolster partnerships with 5 Central Asian countries on economic security, development and culture. Now, the Uzbek leader endorsed this initiative, and in a strong show of solidarity on regional and global issues, he joined President Yoon in calling for the complete denuclearization of North Korea and backed Yoon's audacious initiative of offering unprecedented economic benefits in return for the North scrapping its nukes. So as you can see, there are quite a diverse range of quite a number of important takeaways from this summit.
That's right, Soo-young, and President Yoon will wrap up his visit to Uzbekistan on Saturday, bringing his 3-nation tour of Central Asia to an end. All right, thanks for that comprehensive coverage.
Pleasure to be here.
As part of the K-Silk Road initiative, one of the areas that Korea focuses on is official development assistance, with a special focus on young talent and startups in Uzbekistan. Our foreign affairs correspondent Bae Yoon-ji explains more.
Last week, South Korea unveiled a new strategy to expand its presence in Central Asia, dubbed the K-Silk Road. One of the 4 key areas is official development assistance. South Korea is already the 3rd largest provider of ODA delivered to Uzbekistan. As part of efforts to expand that even more, the South Korean government plans to foster entrepreneurship through exchanges between startups and technical professionals of both countries. While speaking to young entrepreneurs during his state visit to Uzbekistan, President Yoon vowed to fully support young people and startups there.
저는 이러한 전략적 파트너십에서 경제 협력, 또 과학기술 협력도 중요하지만 가장 중요한 것은 인적 교류이고 특히 청년 인재들의 교류, 그리고 청년 인재를 배출해 나가는데 서로 협력해 나가는 거, 그렇게 하는 것이 이런 전략적 파트너십을 지속 가능하게 만들어주는 것으로 매우 중요시하고 있습니다.
The government plans to provide training through youth programs organized by the Korea International Cooperation Agency, a government organization in charge of ODA projects. A senior official at the agency explains that this is also expected to help South Korea overcome its labor shortage, making it a win-win for both countries.
Fields such as digital public infrastructure and fostering industrial talent are areas that South Korea holds a comparative advantage, as the country has gained experience in the past. So compared to other regions, we believe that we can achieve better results by combining the needs of Central Asia with areas that we have comparative advantage of.
South Korea was on the list of ODA recipients in 1945. But after the Korean War, it made rapid economic growth, and in 1991 became a nation that could provide assistance. Now, amid the growing importance of Central Asian countries, South Korea hopes to share that experience and connect startup ecosystems, similar to the way the Silk Road connected the world in the past. Bae Yoon-ji, Arirang News.
In other news, with Russian President Vladimir Putin's visit to Pyongyang imminent, North Korea has openly taken sides with Russia ahead of a Ukraine peace summit scheduled for this weekend. In a commentary by the Korean Central News Agency on Friday, North Korea called the summit a sinister political conspiracy that has no meaning without Russia attending it. South Korea's Ministry of Unification said it was questionable whether North Korea had the right to criticize Ukraine and international efforts to uphold peace, adding the regime blindly supports Russian aggression that has violated international law while also conducting illegal arms transfers with Moscow. The date for planned mass walkouts by doctors here in Korea draws near. But some groups are in disagreement about taking part, while hospital workers are urging doctors themselves to handle the cancellations of or delays to appointments. Kim Bo-young tells us more.
In solidarity with Korea's largest doctors groups, the KMA plans to go on a one-day general strike on Tuesday. Medical professors at major hospitals, too, have decided to go on an indefinite walkout starting next week, except for critical areas such as emergency rooms and delivery suites. Yet there are internal disagreements, as some doctors have decided not to take part. A group of university hospital epilepsy specialists is one. While saying epilepsy is a brain disorder where the risk of damage significantly increases if treatment is interrupted, they have urged the KMA to protest in a way that does not pose a risk to patients. Pediatrics and obstetrics hospitals, too, have decided to carry on as normal. The Korea Children's Hospital Association, comprised of over 130 member hospitals, said on Thursday that it cannot abandon sick children, while the Korean Obstetric Hospital Association, which has over 140 member hospitals, also said it would work as usual as there could be emergency delivery situations. A union representing hospital workers on Friday, too, strongly criticized doctors, saying there is no cause or justification for the collective walkout. They refuse to postpone treatments or surgeries or cancel appointments, saying doctors should personally handle such tasks and take full responsibility for the consequences. Meanwhile, the education minister has warned universities against granting collective leave to med students who filed for school leave for nearly 4 months in protest. Some universities have been weighing up granting leave requests to help students avoid failing the academic semester. But the government has reiterated its stance that collective action is not a valid reason for school leave. Kim Bo-kyung, Arirang News.
Meanwhile, at the National Assembly, opposition lawmakers are making a second attempt to push through bills they unilaterally approved but were vetoed by the president. The ruling party is currently boycotting meetings of committees that the opposition took control of. Our National Assembly correspondent Lee Si-hoo reports.
The National Assembly Legislation and Judiciary Committee, led by members of the opposition, decided on Friday to initiate the review of a contentious bill that will instigate a special investigation into the death of a Marine last year. Committee members from the main opposition Democratic Party will form a subcommittee for further discussion of the bill that aims to look into the death of the Marine during a search and rescue operation last year and whether there was unlawful government interference and a cover-up in the initial military probe. A bill with the same goals was passed in the previous 21st National Assembly but was vetoed by President Yoon Suk-yeol. The ruling People Power Party, which objected to the bill then, did not participate in the committee meeting. The committee said it will hold a related hearing on June 21st and call 12 witnesses and 3 others, mostly government and military officials, to give testimony regarding the case. Meanwhile, the Assembly Science, ICT, Broadcasting and Communications Committee, amid PPP's absence in protest, decided to review revisions to the Broadcasting Act that will alter public broadcasters' governance framework. The bill on revisions to the act was also vetoed by the president late last year. The ruling PPP, which has been boycotting the meetings after the opposition elected chairpeople for 11 of the 18 standing committees in the new assembly, called for an open debate between the rival party floor leaders regarding the organization of the committees. PPP floor leader Chu Kyung-ho said that the first step to restoring parliamentary politics would be to retract the current composition of the standing committees. The ruling party has since formed its own special committee to discuss current issues, instead of participating in official National Assembly meetings of committees led by the opposition. Lee Si-hoo, Arirang News.
Seoul's finance ministry says Korea's consumer prices appear to be cooling, and this reality is propping up domestic demand. An Sung-jin covers the latest data.
South Korea's economy is slowly picking up its pace. Data from the latest economic green book from the finance ministry on Friday show that as inflation slows down and the manufacturing sector sees positive signs, domestic demand is growing. For the month of May, inflation was 2.7% on year. This is down from 2.9% in April. In particular, the prices for agricultural goods have stabilized as supply improved with better weather conditions compared to the year before.
Unlike in the previous month, which had a slight slowdown in inflation with a curved flow, for this month, we can say that inflation has indeed slowed down.
Production and construction investment also showed positive signs. Overall industrial production for April saw an increase of 3.1% compared to the year before. It is notable that all three major sectors that make up overall production, which are mining and manufacturing, construction, and services, saw a rise. Construction investment went up with increased building permit areas compared to last year, allowing for more construction orders. Yet infrastructure investment fell. Strong exports and an increase in tourists, especially those from China, also pulled up the economy. Exports for May were up by 11.7% on the back of strong IT exports, such as semiconductors, as well as strong auto exports. However, despite an increase in tourists, retail sales saw a slight drop with a decrease in the number of cars sold domestically. The government has placed its priority on stabilizing people's livelihoods by increasing the management of potential risks and focusing on policies to boost the economy. Han Sung-jin, Arirang News.
For most people, going to a hair salon regularly to get their haircut is a normal part of life. However, for disabled people with limited mobility, even going once can be quite challenging. Now, there's a special salon designed for these people. Our Choi Soo-hyung has the story.
It's an ordinary hair salon in Seoul, but it has no steps or stairs. It's a salon created by Newon-gu District Office just for the district's disabled residents. The first branch opened 2 years ago, and due to the overwhelming demand, it established a second branch within just 1 year. In November 2023, the Hue Hair Cafe opened its second branch in Newon-gu District. Here at the Gongneung branch, even the smallest barriers have been removed to improve access for disabled customers. There are braille blocks near the entrance, and charging facilities are available for electric wheelchair users. The mirrors in the lavatory are installed lower than usual. Everything from haircuts to dyeing and shampooing can be done all at once without moving to a separate shampoo room. The cost for a haircut is around $5, and even a perm is less than $14. Data from the Korea Consumer Agency in May shows the average cost for a haircut in downtown Seoul is over $15. Before the Hue existed, the customers' family members usually cut their hair at home, or they visited a regular salon once every 2 or 3 years.
So good to be here. It's affordable, there's a restroom inside, and I can do everything from cutting to styling my hair all at once.
The hair designer said that she just focuses on making customers happy.
Serving customers is my job here at the hair shop anyway. I provide the exact same service like others. I'm just a hairstylist. When customers leave satisfied with their hairstyle, it makes me happy. That's all.
The Newon-gu office has been communicating with disabled people and their families about what they need in their daily life.
There are several joint bodies for communicating with disabled individuals in our district office. They have consistently requested hair salons. In response, Newon-gu office has taken the initiative to assess and establish these facilities.
An expert said the facilities only for disabled people might seem like another form of segregation, but these disabled-friendly spaces are still necessary.
We need to consider whether there have been sufficient facilities available for disabled people in the region until now. For most people, going to libraries, coffee shops, hospitals, and hair salons is so normal in their daily lives. However, for disabled people, it was hard to access these common facilities in the local community.
She added that more support and attention is needed from both the public and private sectors.
I hope that private and public sectors can collaborate more to create barrier-free facilities. When the government supports private business owners trying to make disabled-friendly hospitals or salons, it could become easier.
Customers at the Hue Hair Cafe said that they hope hair salons for disabled people can one day be found nationwide. Choi Soo-hyung, Arirang News.
This week was an exciting one for BTS fans, with member Jin returning from the military and the band celebrating the 11th anniversary of their debut. Our culture correspondent Song Yujin spoke with some fans to capture their excitement and hear their thoughts.
둘, 셋, 방탄. 안녕하세요. 방탄소년단입니다. 아미.
The first of the 7 BTS members is back. Jin, the eldest and the first to begin his 18-month mandatory military service, was discharged from the army on June 12th. Now he's back with his devoted armies. The 31-year-old wasted no time and held a fan meet and greet the very next day. For fans, it felt like a double celebration as the event was part of the annual BTS Festa.
So every year, BTS holds this BTS Festa to celebrate the anniversary of the band's debut, June 13th, with their fans. Now this year, despite the temperature soaring above 30 degrees Celsius, as you can see, the festival site is packed with fans.
Although it's been 2 years since BTS announced their hiatus as a group, fans have shown their unwavering love and support, giving Jin the warmest welcome.
My bias is Jin, so yes, Kim Seokjin. So he comes back, and I don't know, I feel like my favorite person in the world, you know, come back to me, and it's really important.
So the wait of like 1.5 years, like it came to an end, and we see him so happy, so handsome. It made us feel like so proud.
Experts credit this to the members staying connected with fans by releasing music prepared before their enlistment.
Recently, the industry has been trying to minimize the military hiatus for male celebrities. This approach is also seen with actors like Park Bo-gum and Lee Do-yeon, who released movies while doing their service. Additionally, fans now feel the wait is shorter because the military service period has been reduced to about 1.5 years.
Fans say it's because of the group's unique charm and continued loyalty.
Their performance and skills are always top-notch. There's no one like them.
A lot of things happened in the pandemic, and the BTS look like saved me in this moment.
The countdown to BTS's full reunion has begun, promising an exciting new chapter in the group's career, once they reconvene as a complete group after June 2025, when all 7 members finish their military service. 송유진, Arirang News.
The scorching heat continued throughout this week. Temperatures were at their highest today. Seoul soared up to 33 degrees Celsius during the daytime. With rain everywhere tomorrow, the early scorching heat will also slow down. Seoul will be at 27 degrees, about 6 degrees lower than today. Rain of 5 to 40 millimeters will continue throughout the day in the Seoul metropolitan area and Gangwon-do province, and showers will pass over Chungcheongnam-do province. In the inland areas of Gangwon-do province, there may be places where the rain continues until Sunday. Tomorrow morning will start off at least 20 degrees all over the country. Highs will be topping out at 29 in Daejeon, Gwangju 30, and Daegu 32 degrees. Even though the heat will ease off a bit with rain, the weather will continue to be hotter than usual from now on. That's all for Korea. Here are the weather conditions around the world.
That is Newscenter for tonight. Thank you for watching. A panel session up next.